This is the Ichimura Japanese Garden in Delray Beach, Florida, located at the Morikami Museum. The Morikami property is connected to the history of small Japanese farming community that settled in this area in the early 1900s. Today, it's been developed into a cultural site with gardens and museum spaces that reflect that history. This garden area is free to access, which makes it pretty easy to stop if you're nearby. Right when you walk in, you can actually see most of the garden from the entrance. It's smaller, more open layout, so you're not really moving from one hidden section to another. It's more of a full view with a path that takes you around it. There's one area that's a little tucked away, but overall, you get a sense from the space right away. The path loops you through the garden and gives you a closer look at everything you can see from the entrance. It's a simple walk, nothing complicated, but it lets you slow down and notice some of the smaller details as you go. You'll pass by stone features, statues, and little design elements that are spaced out across the garden. A lot of the design here is pretty minimal, but it's intentional, and you'll see stone lanterns and decorative pieces that are placed to complement the space instead of stand out too much. It's not heavily themed or overly detailed, but it stays consistent the whole way through. The plants here are a mix of Japanese-inspired landscaping and what actually grows well in South Florida. So instead of everything being strictly traditional, it's more of an adapted version of that style. You'll see lots of greenery and some flowering plants, depending on the season, and areas of shade that make it feel a little cooler as you walk through. Right now, it's summer, so it's a bit sparse. Some parts are more maintained and shaped, while others feel a bit more natural, which gives it a mix of structured and relaxed. If you're into photography, this is one of those spots where it's less about big dramatic views and more about smaller details, flowers, textures, and little compositions you'll notice as you go. Because you can see most of the garden from the entrance, it might seem like a quick walk at first. But once you actually start going around the path, it slows you down a bit. You start noticing things you didn't catch right away, different angles, small details, and how the space changes as you move through it. It's not a place you rush unless you want it to be. You can walk through everything in about 30 minutes without stopping too much. We ended up staying closer to an hour, mostly because we kept stopping for pictures, especially around the flowers, water features, and some of the smaller details. It's also an easy place to just take a break if you've been doing some of the more fast-paced activities in the area. At the end of the path is where you get to the main water feature. This is probably the most active part of the garden, with a pond and koi fish moving through the water. It's a good spot to pause for a few minutes. Even though the garden is small, this area gives it a bit more of a focal point at the end of the walk. We also came across a couple of animals near the end of our visit, which was a nice surprise. It's not something you can plan for, but it's always a bonus when you catch something like that on camera. If you're enjoying the walkthrough, go ahead and like the video, subscribe to Jennifer's Travel Adventures, and leave a comment. Would you stop here for a free attraction or head to one of the bigger attractions nearby? Overall, it's a nice, simple garden. If you're just looking for a low-cost way to spend an hour or so, take some photos, and have an easy walk, it works well. Thanks for coming along with us through the Ichimura Japanese Garden, and as always, wish you were here.